Welcome, everyone. Welcome to another Astral interview. And here with me right now, I have Praveen. Praveen, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself? Your first name, your last name, what title you like, and just a little brief description of your life, like from the beginning, where you grew up, what your childhood was like. We can start there.
Sure. Well, my name is Praveen Narayan. I'm in Surrey, BC. I was born in Vancouver and brought up here. My parents are from Fiji Islands. I have two beautiful children, and my husband is also from Fiji Islands. In fact, the event that we're gonna be at, Nish Crystal's Amazing Jewelry, he's also from the same part of Fiji that my husband's from. And I guess since I was a little kid, I've been able to see spirits, guides, angels, celestial beings, fairies, and I'm able to speak to spirits that have passed away. So if somebody has a past loved one that they would like to hear messages from, then I'm able to go ahead and do my meditation and receive messages from other past loved ones, even animals as well. I have been
So from a
right.
very young age, you experienced this, right?
Right, I have been able to, and I didn't know what it was. I was an only child, so people thought I had imaginary friends. But I was able to, get clear messages from spirits and also my family members. When somebody's passed on, I'm able to communicate with them as well.
So tell me about your very first experience. What was it like? Was it like startling, or was it like just like, second nature? How was it? And who did you hear, and what was the story?
Right. Okay. So I was able to speak to fairies and angels since I was like 4. So it became second nature to me to speak to them, hear about any messages that they had for me or my loved ones. And I think because I was so little, I think my family was basically thinking, oh, okay, yeah, she's a little 4-year-old who has an imaginary friend. So as I went on, I remember that my grandma passed away at the age of, I think I was 7 or 8. My grandma passed away, and I was very close to her. She was my paternal grandma, and I believe she passed away, and I still feel like she's part of my guide because my first experience seeing her was after she had passed away. A couple of years had gone by, and I was being naughty and mischievous. My parents were outside gardening or something, and I wanted to listen to music, so I turned on my stereo full blast in the house, and I was dancing by myself, and all of a sudden I saw my grandma, and she was like, "Why is that so loud? Turn it down." And I was like, what? What? Okay. And at the time I thought, okay, she's so real. She's back because she always used to look after me. And I'm thinking, okay, Grandma, I'll turn it down. And after that, she went away. But after that experience, I just know that whenever I was stuck in a situation, I could call upon her and she would do a dream visitation or an apparition. And yeah, I think that's a special bond that her and I have. So that was my very first experience. And after that, I remember throughout high school, I would always be able to see a lot of spirits that are in distress, I noticed. Yeah, there was a lot of spirits that I would see in distress that were still earthbound and not able to move on. And so I was naturally, sorry.
So how do you see them?
They just look like holograms to me. Yeah, at first, when I was in my teens, I honestly wasn't able to differentiate if it was real or a hologram, just because it looks so real. And so you can see, hear everything. And I was able to, they were able to talk to me and I can hear their voice.
Right.
And so it would happen quite a lot. Even if I was sleeping, I would have visitations. And so it got to a point where I was very, very stressed. And so my friend from work, she said, you know what, you seem very stressed all the time and you're stressed, you're not sleeping well. Maybe you should go for Reiki. So I
Right.
did. I went for Reiki as soon as I was 19, and I went to Reiki so often that I started learning Reiki for myself. So I also got level 1 and 2 for Reiki, but that Reiki itself amplified my mediumship skills, right? Um,
Right.
Totally, it amplified everything. So I was speaking to angels more often, fairies more often. I started seeing unicorns at that time. And oh yeah, I love unicorns. They're such spirit guides. They're such good spirit animals. Um, so by the time I was, I actually didn't know how to shut it off, you know? I didn't know how to shut it off until recently, honestly. I went to a mediumship teacher, and she was able to tell me how to ask the spirits to calm down or disconnect from the spirits just so that I can get proper rest. And she really taught me really great skills that help me with my practice today. Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
So can you share some of those things she taught you for people who are experiencing this and don't really know how to deal with it?
Okay, so the spirits, some spirits will give you signs like leaving a feather, leaving a penny, especially a penny that has a date on it. That is significant because that is their way of communicating with us. Also, you may hear songs. If they're trying to pass a message on to you, they might start playing a song that either they liked or a song that you like, a song that might remind you of a time with them. Um, some songs have messages if you're stuck in a situation, and these songs will repeat until you get the message. I also like receiving messages with numbers. So, say if I'm driving a lot, I will see a lot of repetitive numbers. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I have read a lot of angel numbers and their meanings. So, I really like to look at numbers. And so they communicate that way as well. Also, they might give you a dream visitation. So you may be having some struggles or some questions in life, and they will pop in and visit you in your dream and give you an important message.
Right.
Also animals. I know that birds and butterflies, um, they communicate through birds and butterflies and will drop by and see you, check up on you using birds. I also know smell. Sometimes a person had a favorite perfume or something, or a favorite food that they like to cook a lot. So all of a sudden, you might start smelling their favorite food, like apple pie. A lot of women, there was this woman that liked to bake all the time, and she made really good pie every time her granddaughter would come by. So
Right.
one time she was trying to connect to her grandma that has passed away, and I just kept on smelling apple pie. I'm like, okay, she used to bake out pies for you. Do you ever smell it? And she'd be like, yeah, sometimes I do go around the house and all of a sudden I smell apple pie or their favorite perfume. Um, so
Right.
those are a few of the signs. And if you are clairaudient, then you can also hear their voice. Yeah.
Right.
So those are some.
Okay, so those are what they will experience, but now if they experience this all the time, what
Mhm.
are some of the things they can do to help themselves cope with that?
Okay, so that's a really good question because that's what I struggled with for a long, long time. And some people may be like, you know what, I'm fed up of this. I'm going crazy. I'm shutting down. Some people may not know how to cope with it and go into depression or anxiety, right? So the way I learned is to actually communicate with the spirits and say, listen, I need to go to sleep now. I am shutting down. I am disconnecting. You need to respect my boundaries and and ask them to come back when you are ready. So I have learned to shut it on and off. So if a person is coming to me and saying, hey, listen, my such and such loved one has passed away, I really need help with this, then I'll be able to open myself through meditation and connect with the higher beings and be able to connect to the spirit. Um,
Right.
and I think these skills really take practice because it was training for me. It was intense training. So I would say
Right.
talk to a teacher that can teach you mediumship, because then you're able to know how to use your chakras to turn it
Yeah.
down, because we're all frequency. So if we're able to shut down our frequency when we need that break, then it's a lot harder for the other outside beings to connect with you.
Right.
And yeah, so it's just like office hours. You know, you need to speak to the spirit and say, listen, I can't talk to you right now. I know there are other mediums out there that you can talk to that may be open right now, but right now I am busy either driving or going to work. You know, and can you come back to me? And also ask for protection. Also, when you're opening up yourself to talk to spirits, I believe that protection is a big thing, very important. So ground yourself. And I learned grounding through Teza, and I learned grounding through other mediumship and meditation teachers. And ground yourself, ask for protection from your angels and guides and your higher beings and the source, and then open yourself into communicating with the spirits. Yeah, so does that help a
So
little
you
bit?
mentioned grounding. So you mentioned grounding.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you could speak a little bit about what that is and what that means. And you also mentioned the chakras. So for those people who don't know what grounding is and what chakras are, and you
Mm-hmm.
also mentioned frequency. Can you talk a little bit about those subjects?
Okay, those are loaded questions too. So frequency, everybody has a divine blueprint. Everybody has a different vibrating frequency. I believe that our frequency is kind of like our, like I said, a divine blueprint. It's our thumbprint. Everybody has a unique thumbprint that we use. And I think our frequency is the same, is it's our own divine blueprint. So um, working with spirits and angels also takes a different frequency, which I've been able to reach with meditation and praying and practice. When I talk about chakras, chakras are like our battery system in our human body. So we have the chakra systems that are above us, and then we have 7 in our energy field, and they all operate at different colors. They're all different colors of the rainbow. That's the beautiful thing. Um, and I think that different chakras rule different parts of our body. For instance, the throat chakra, the heart chakra, they all need to be in an alignment to prevent being sick. And it also helps if they're in alignment, then it also helps with meditation and building up your clairaudience or clairvoyance, your gifts. It helps to bring out your gifts better if you're aligned. And sorry, what was your other question?
Um, the grounding one. But
Grounding.
before you go there,
Mhm.
when you say when your chakras are in alignment, it helps you be healthy, right?
Right.
And it helps you open up your clairs. But there's many people whose clairs open up when they're not necessarily the healthiest.
Okay.
and not probably in a very traumatic state. So what does that mean?
I think that's a huge awakening for them. I think a lot of times we don't listen to our bodies and we're just go, 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 and we neglect ourselves. And then when we come into a situation where we're fighting or struggling with a huge um, battle of illness, such as cancer or heart attacks or anything, be it like that, I think our body goes through an awakening. And I kind of had that same issue myself where I went through I went through endometriosis. I'll be very open. I went through endometriosis right after my 2 pregnancies. And yeah, my chakras were not in alignment at all. I was in chronic pain every single day. This was for many years. And I went through surgery, and right after surgery, I felt like boom, a huge weight had shifted off me because I was no longer in pain. And I think that's when I had my huge awakening that all the things I tried to shut down when I was a teenager about seeing different spirits and talking to past ones, all of that just came up, and I was like, you know what? This is the time. I got to do this. I got to do this and help other people as well. So that's where I think that, yeah, even if you don't have your chakras on alignment, I think that boom, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen, and you're going to wake up with all your gifts. Yeah.
Wow. So basically, that's a form of grace then. Wouldn't you say it's a form of um, someone up there having mercy on you because you're going through this trauma and saying, hey, wake up, and I'm going to help you by giving this. It's going to traumatize you probably more because you won't know what's happening to you. But really, it's a gift, right?
Oh yeah. That's exactly the way to put it. Yes. Yeah.
You said you have children,
Yeah.
and um, what about them? How do they feel about your gifts, or have you shared your gifts with them, or do you feel they're gifted? Talk a little bit about that.
Right. Yeah. I've tried to be very open with my kids about things that have to do with metaphysical stuff. I've been very open just because in my own upbringing, like I said, when I've been talking to spirits, people think I'm talking to my imaginary friends, right? And also through school, um, I think I was very by myself a lot of the times, even through school, because nobody would understand my situation.
Right.
So with my kids, I'm very open with my kids. um, I feel like my son, both of my kids, I feel like they do have mediumship abilities at this age. They're 9 and 10. The reason why I say that is because when people have passed away in our family, then my kids are still talking to them like normal, you know, like their grandpa still comes over at night and reads them a bedtime story, you know. And um so I'm very open with my kids about that. And also they love crystals. They are learning about the chakra system. They're learning Reiki. My daughter is very good at
Right.
Reiki right now, and she's very caring and very giving. So I think that having that communication with the kids, being open and not shutting them down and not criticizing them, will really help it nurture them to be very open in the future. Right now, my daughter, she wants to work with crystals, and she's learning how to make essential oils with crystals infused with Reiki. I found that so amazing, and she was only 9 when she started that.
Right.
Yeah, so and we take nature walks through the forest, and I'm like, hey, what are the fairies saying, do you know? Or and they're very empathic children, and they
Yes.
also love animals. So I think it's really important to nurture kids like that. Yeah, I remember that we skipped over grounding. We skipped over that
Yes.
question, grounding. I just remembered. Grounding is really important because that helps us being tethered to the universe, to the ground. Because a lot of times people that are clairvoyant or busy talking to spirits, we're very up in the air. And Aquarius, especially me, because I'm Aquarius, Tessa has taught me that
So,
certain earth signs, certain signs are more spacey or in their heads more than others. So I need a lot of grounding. Techniques that I use are nature walks, sitting by the water, sitting in nature. Meditation really helps me. So when you're in meditation, what you can imagine is from your um, root chakra, the chakra that's at the very bottom. Picture a golden cord right down to Mother Earth, Gaia. So you can picture a golden cord, you can picture an umbilical cord, anything down that right to the ground, right to the roots, just to help you be able to come down after your meditation or after you give a reading. It's that will help you come down. Otherwise, if you're not grounding yourself, you're still spacey, you're still in your head, and it'll be very, very hard to focus on earthly things such as driving or having a conversation or even working. So yeah, I find that really important, and then that's a daily practice for me. Yeah.
wonderful. So you've probably taught those things to your children too, right?
Oh yes, yes. Those are very important. And I haven't really seen a lot of classes out there for children that have these spiritual gifts. So I'm that's why I'm just starting with my own kids and trying to teach what I can to them. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We need more of that out there. I think it'll come just slowly.
Yeah.
Um, so now tell us about how you got involved with 888 and how that came to be.
Sure. So I've known Teza since 2016. So for about 4 years now, I've learned Akashic records and I've gotten to the master level. And so she also has organized so many different events. So I was at her healing event, and this time, as soon as we found out about creating the 888 Lions Portal event, I was like, yeah, sign me up, I want to do this. I think it's a beautiful opportunity for all light workers and healers to get together and create this event and help other people out there, because right now we're in really uncertain times. There's a lot of people stressed out there, and so I think healing is the best work that light workers can do, just to shift increase our frequency and help with the healing and help the planet heal as well. I myself am a social worker for, how long have I been there for? Almost 25 years I've been a social worker. Yeah.
Wow.
So I work on the crisis line, and I also work with people with disabilities. Crisis
Right.
Since COVID has hit, honestly, the crisis line has been going nonstop. So there's a lot of people out there in distress. So I think that working with one person at a time, whatever healing or whatever benefit, Reiki or mediumship, anything that I have to do to help them is worth it for me. Yeah.
Do you run into people that need help with, someone to look after them and medical help and things like that?
Right. Yeah. With the people with disabilities, what I do is I am a community support worker. So I take them out into the community and help them with community integration, recreation skills, life skills, things like that. Right now, since COVID has hit, I'm pretty much home taking care of my kids because there's no school. Yeah, but I am on call with the crisis line, and I talk to all sorts of different people. there's people that are suicidal, people that are leaving abusive relationships,
Right.
children in distress. So yeah, those are some of the things that I do.
Well, thank you, Praveen. It was really nice meeting you, and really nice to hear what your life was. And so, would you consider yourself a medium now? And do you serve as a medium in the community?
Right. So I can do mediumship, Akashic records, Reiki. I also am able to do psychometry. So if somebody has a special jewelry from a past loved one, then I'm able to look at it and feel the energy and be able to give a reading off of it. I also enjoy looking at people's auras and doing aura readings as well. Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of things I can do. I think that, like you said, the chronic pain that I went through, as soon as that was over, I kind of like opened up to so many other things that are out there.
Right.
So yeah.
Um, so, and at the 888, you're going to be doing some services there, right?
Right, yes. So what I'll be able to do is mediumship, intuitive readings. I use cards and then I don't have to use cards, whatever the person wants. Psychometry,
Right.
um, aura readings. Yeah, it'll just be a quick meet and greet, and if they want to learn more, then
Right.
sure, we can book a session. So yeah, it'll be
Wonderful.
I do a whole bunch of stuff. So being in the event, it'll be a short time because there'll be so many other vendors there. Yeah, so then people
Right.
can get a taste of what I do when they drop by.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
So then, I've sort of exhausted all my questions I want to ask you. Do
Hmm.
you have anything you want to share with the audience? Do you have a question? Or is there something I might have not even known to ask you that you want to share?
Right, yeah, no, I think just in closing, I think we are going through a really, really difficult time right now with things changing all the time. And I know that life is a lot easier when you have your guides and angels and spirits right next to you asking, you know, yeah, so I think just to navigate through life and even in your times of joys, they want to be there as well. So I think that if I'm able to help people with that, then come by, stop at the table, ask me anything, um, and enjoy yourself at the event. And there'll be tons of other people there as well. And yeah, just come, enjoy, drop by, say hello. That's all I have to say. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Preet. Thank you for joining us,
Thank
and
you.
thank you for giving us the honor to interview you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you so much.
Thank
Okay,
you. Bye.
bye.
Bye.